What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Lake Show Digest. You're coming here. You know what happened. Sad things happen. The Los Angeles Lakers are out of the playoffs. They lost in the first round to the Phoenix Suns, a team that I'm not really fond of now that we look back on it. I just wanted to see a competitive game out of them after that Game 5 beatdown, after we lose by 30 and we're down by 30 the whole game. I just wanted them to come out firing. That wasn't the case in the first quarter. Devin Booker decided to go Game 6 Klay Thompson. He scores 22 and a quarter. Things are looking really hopeful for us, but we kind of came back a bit. I was just thinking to myself, if we keep it to within, if you go into the half down 20, maybe 15, and you go into the fourth down 10, we can make this a game. And they really did. Once the middle of the third quarter hit, I'd say they really started firing. They really started clamping down on defense in the third quarter, and it wasn't enough to get it done. The Suns still had the whistle after 3 games. After Monty Williams complained, the Suns basically owned the refs. It was something that was pissing me off the whole time. But it really didn't feel like our year. I got Martin here with me. You know him if you've been watching the show. We'll talk about it. Martin, how you feeling, man?
Disappointed. Agree with a lot of what you just said. First of all, the refs, the Suns had the refs whistle this entire series. That's not me being like a biased fan. Like, dude, they did. The Suns had the refs whistle.
The last 3 games, they really had it. We may have had it the first few, but the last 3 after Monty complained, it took one more game. Right. It was a little more fair. But after that, Book was getting every touch foul, and we weren't getting shit, man. We were getting flagrant calls like a motherfucker.
What a great job by Monty Williams to call out the referees, because after that, bro, they got every call. Having said that, just to touch on what your point was, it didn't feel like our year, and Devin Booker was amazing tonight. Some of the shots he made, I was like, dude, seriously, you're gonna make that? But when Anthony Davis went out in the first quarter, I was like, okay.
Oh my God, doesn't really touch on that. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I didn't want him to play tonight. Just for the record, I appreciate AD fighting and playing through it, but I didn't want him to play because of exactly what happened. He goes for a loose ball on Devin Booker, and of course he injures himself. Any fan calling AD soft or fragile is just ridiculous, especially after the heel injury that he had in the bubble that he played through. But it didn't really feel like our year, unfortunately. But Devin Booker was crazy tonight. I definitely don't want the Suns to go to the finals. I do not like this team right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel okay. Like, we just won the championship in last October, obviously. But I feel like we're going to make good moves, and we're going to have a full off season, and we're going to make maybe a couple of changes to the coaching staff, and we have our first round draft pick, and we'll be okay, man. We'll be all right.
I feel good about where we're at too. I'm glad you brought that up, because after Game 5, that was kind of when the series ended for me. That was going to be.
Me too.
We'll see what the guys have in them if they come out swinging in Game 5. They had nothing in them, and that was for a lot of reasons. I mean, because we've seen fight out of this team this year, man. Guys have stepped up and grown their games and become bigger than their previous role when they had to. I mean, Caruso made some improvements when LeBron was out. So did Schroeder. Schroeder was the one commanding the fucking helm for us. Keith is a guy that needs minutes to really get in his rhythm, but he stepped up big for us as a scorer and just a big guy in the post for us. So these guys have fight in them. I don't think they're soft. I thought they were fucking tired. Yeah, they kind of quit in Game 5. But I think that was a result of Alex, my buddy who was on the previous podcast, we were texting about Game 5, and he just said that these guys are just tired, man. They're tired of trying to rally themselves to fight another battle where they lost another piece. And that's when we were trying to fight without Anthony Davis. So, yeah. Man, I had a thought about what you were saying earlier, but I forgot. But something I wanted to know is how much of that game did you actually watch? Were you there the whole time?
So I was I was there pretty much for the whole time until the fourth quarter. About I'd say 5 minutes left. Like it was in hand. I had to leave the freaking bar I was at, man. They had a closing time, but anyway, the game was essentially in hand, right? Um, we made a little comeback in the second half. We showed fight, we showed a little comeback in the second half, but like try to put yourself in these guys' position. Well, the guys that are back, like LeBron and Markieff Morris and Anthony Davis, like you win in October, you get no parade, you get no celebration in LA, and then Adam Silver's like, okay, time to suit up. It's go time on Christmas Day. Is that really fair?
I was thinking
Um,
about it, man. They only got like a month really of proper rest.
really a month, right?
Because then they
Right,
had to ramp up for training camp and shit.
because the season ended for us. We won the championship in October, and then Silver's like, okay, you're back. But the thing is, like, we had preseason games, I want to say early December, right?
Yeah,
So
because the season started the
preseason,
22nd.
right, preseason started December. So that's really not even 2 months off. I'm not trying to make excuses, but this was the shortest off season in NBA history. It was the shortest off season in any professional sports history. We had no parade. Uh, I keep going back to the parade
We
because
had
I
no
wanted it
parade.
so.
We lost because
I
we didn't
keep
have a
going back
parade. God damn it! Because fucking
because they
Cleveland
didn't
took
they
our
didn't have
parade.
it. That's right. Um, and if it wasn't for Solomon Hill rolling over LeBron's ankle, what seed are we? Maybe three, maybe even two, if it wasn't for that ankle injury. And like, dude, we just won the championship, and I know this team is not satisfied. Rob Pelinka is going to make some moves. LeBron and AD are going to come back next year pissed off. They're going to be like their hair is on fire. This is not the end of the Lakers, man. We'll be back next year, and we're going to be one of the four best teams in the league.
I kind of like it when we're underestimated too by the national media. I mean, people take into account this playoff run and say Braun is too old, to get it done for the full length of the season now.
Yeah, shout out to Charles Barkley calling Anthony Davis street clothes. You fucking bum. You don't have a ring, right? Charles Barkley is so typical of him to call out Anthony Davis like, oh, street clothes. Yeah, street clothes has a ring, right? And you don't. So this whole like I'm so over it, bro. I'm actually glad that they get time off and get to relax. Like we have a championship, and any clown that tries to say Mickey Mouse ring or this and that, then why didn't your team win, bro? Why didn't they win? Why didn't they go to the finals? Because you suck. That's why.
Questions that need answers, man. The other thing about Barkley is he said street clothes, and then after AD got hurt, he said they shouldn't have played him. Like, bro, you
They
just
shouldn't
called
have
him
played
street
him.
clothes.
Fucking bum, dude. Barkley. Let me tell you
You got
something.
side, man.
I got takes.
We're drinking
tonight,
tonight,
bro.
by the way. Cheers.
I got takes, Mateo. Can I go on my takes? Can I go on my tangents?
The Lakers are
Let me
done,
tell you
bro.
something.
Fucking rip these off. I don't give a shit. Let's
Let
go.
me tell you something. Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, Ernie Johnson, and Shaq. If you watch that show for basketball analysis, you're in the wrong place. Okay, that TNT Thursday night basketball, that's for entertainment. Those guys don't know anything about basketball. Me and you know more about hoops than those guys.
I
And
don't
the
know if
thing
I'll go
about it,
that far. That might be the drink speaking, but maybe
let me tell. Okay,
in the sense of today's game and like how it works, maybe because those fools are out of touch, man.
dude, they're out of touch, Mateo. And the thing about it, what kills me about those guys, okay, so they know more hoops than us, right? Because they play the game, but they don't watch the games, bro. And they openly
Yeah,
admit
they
it.
don't, bro.
Charles Barkley admits it. He's like, yo, I don't really care who wins. I want the season to end so I could go on the golf course. And Shaq can't name 8 players in the NBA. So don't discredit us, man. Okay, maybe they know more about the game than us because they played, but Shaq can't name 8 players in the NBA, and it's embarrassing. Okay, so I'm on a tangent tonight. I'm a little turned up, but Charles Barkley saying, "Oh, Anthony Street Clothes Davis." Yeah, just make sure you refer to him as a champion, okay? Because you are not a champion. Just make sure you refer to Anthony Davis as a world champion, bro.
That's kind of a dream, bro, because other people don't watch the games, but at least they make spreadsheets and look at numbers. These guys don't do that, and they just
They
fucking
don't do that.
they get paid the most, and they don't do that. They get
They don't
paid.
even do that, bro.
That's the dream job right there, honestly.
And the thing is, it'd be different, but Barkley admits it. Shaq admits it. Barkley's like, "Yo, I want this season to end so I could go on the golf course." They admit it. So I'm just saying,
Because what are you gonna do?
maybe I
Fire
went
him?
up.
He's why people watch.
Look, you don't watch TNT Thursday night for analysis. You watch it because it's fun. It is fun. It's fun to watch those guys goof off and clown around and all
The
of that
best shit
stuff.
is when they're not talking about basketball, man. When they're like talking about shit not related to basketball, that's when it gets like funny and entertaining for me.
That's when it's fun. But Charles Barkley calling somebody street clothes and then tonight saying, "Well, he shouldn't have played." Which one is it, bro? Should he have played or is it street clothes? Which one is it?
Yeah, I know.
Anthony Davis is a beast. He helped us win a championship. I'm not worried about him. He played through injuries in the bubble, and it sucks that we lost. But yeah, I'm not going to let anyone discredit what we did last year.
Yeah, the people who want to call AD soft are not taking into account of all the things he did play through because they're not inside his body and aren't feeling what he has to play with and stuff. There was a lot of talk today about, saw someone put out a good tweet how Kobe, the Mamba mentality, was about playing when you could play, not playing through injuries that could jeopardize your chances at a playoff run or your career.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know if Kobe would have played with that kind of groin injury right there. I don't even remember if Kobe got a groin injury. Do you remember?
I mean, Kobe had like everything. Actually, I don't think he did have a groin injury. And Kobe's my favorite player. Kobe's my favorite player ever. But yeah, don't bring up Kobe Bryant because of Anthony Davis trying to play through a groin injury.
Yep.
AD played through a ton of stuff. He does play through a ton of stuff. I just hate it when people try to bring up Kobe, like, "Oh, Mamba mentality." Like, it's just disingenuous to me, to Kobe, and to the current player, like talking about injuries like that. To me, it's like it's just disingenuous to the memory of Kobe Bryant and to the current player. Like, so yeah, I just don't like things like that being brought up.
Yeah, me neither. Going back to this game though, what's your takeaway on the Suns after we wrap this series with them?
I mean, the Suns they're a damn good team, and it's going to be tough to beat them in the next round.
They got
They
shooting,
have
though, something we don't have.
Yeah, they have shoot. Who do they play? Oh, Denver, because Denver won tonight. They are going to be tough to beat. They have shooting when it mattered, which is the antithesis of what we had. We had no shooting when it mattered.
Bro, this year when we went cold, we went like cold. I mean, there were weak stretches where like 20% and shit. Like fuck.
Like, when you get open shots in this league, man, you just have to make it. Like, you get paid too much money, you have to make it. And in game 1, and then the games we won, man, at home at game 3 we won because we just locked in defensively. Our shooting went cold. KCP went brick. Kuzma, oh my God, Kuzma went brick. Dennis went 0 for 9 in game 5. We had a terrible shooting night. It's going to be tough to beat Phoenix, man. I will say. Going to your point about what I think about Phoenix, I don't like them. I think Jay Crowder is dirty. I think Chris Paul is dirty. And I don't want to see that team in the finals because they just did some dirty shit. And everyone's like, "Oh, Chris Paul's hurt. His shoulder is hurt. We got to feel bad for Chris Paul." Meanwhile, Anthony Davis is out there on one leg and LeBron has a broken ankle. And it's like, "Oh, well, they just got to suck it up." Like, what does that mean?
Why do they have to suck it up, right?
Why does so Chris Paul?
I did not
Let's
hear
feel
anyone
bad for
saying Chris Paul has to suck it up. No one
let's
did.
feel bad for Chris Paul because he hurt his shoulder on a legal play, but Anthony
On his
Davis
own
has a
guy,
hurt
he
groin
ran into Cameron
on his
Johnson.
own guy, bro.
It wasn't
But
even us.
LeBron gets his ankle rolled up on by some fucking goon, and no one talks about that. Okay.
Yeah, man. I hold the same thoughts. I'm not happy with Jay Crowder. They got dirty players in Chris Paul and Jay Crowder, and then they got fucking floppers too. Booker's a big ass flopper. Cameron Payne too.
Ah,
I mean,
Booker, man.
it's hard for it's hard for us to do that too because our guys will flop sometimes, but fuck them. So I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, bro. Here, my take on Phoenix is they're going to be hard to beat. They have depth. Booker is great and Ayton is great, but hell no, I don't want to see them go to the finals.
Yep.
They had the referees call after Monty Williams complained, and Booker is just too talented and he's too good to be like complaining as much as he does.
Yeah.
Like, you're great, Devin. Why don't you just be great? Why do you have to like complain and make dirty plays? Like, just be a great player.
To be fair, our team complains to the refs too, but also we get missed calls all the fucking time because a guy like LeBron is strong, and also because when you have a big like AD, the game isn't officiated the same way in the paint as it is on the perimeter, which is why a guy like
True.
Booker gets all the fucking calls, and a guy like Trez gets smacked in the face twice a game, and the refs don't call it. Or AD will get
Right.
all kinds of contact. I mean, the difference between big men and guards, the way they're officiated is crazy. That's Phil, who
Bro,
introduced me to
it's so crazy. How many flagrant fouls have we seen in the playoffs, right? Like a ton, right? And you remember the Jay Crowder play on LeBron when he literally grabbed his what was it, his shoulders?
Yeah.
They didn't even go to review that play. We're talking about LeBron James, a top 5 player in NBA history, and I see Russell Westbrook gets like blown wind on, and they're like, "Yo, review it. That's a flagrant." And LeBron is a 4-time MVP, Finals MVP, maybe one of the most important players in the last 10 years. Jay Crowder grabs him like he's tackling him, and they don't even review it for a flagrant. I hate to make excuses, man, but stuff like that just bothered me. And again, Lakers players, to your point, we complained a lot too. Lakers players
a lot too.
we threw our hands up and we're like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like, but yeah, something like
justified.
Yeah, it always comes back to you.
Yeah, man, Jay Crowder, the amount of those fucking leg kicks that he was getting away with, and they would review the calls too. And you can overturn that shit if you see a guy kicking his leg out, but there was 2 or 3 times he did that in the series, and they never overturned that shit.
Yeah,
so that adds on
sucks,
to the frustration of, the other dirty shit that Jay Crowder does. Chris Paul tripping. There was a replay of him tripping Kuzma when he was trying to get him off of him.
Right.
Paul kicks his leg out, trips Kuz. Kuz is like, "What the hell?" And then Chris Paul goes over to pretend to help him up, and then he's like, "Yeah, let me get you." And he walks away like an asshole. Another. I'm just reeling off the list right. Another play where Jay Crowder goes up to contest Kuz's 3. He turns away and then he drops his hand on Kuz's face. That doesn't get called to. I don't think that was accidental, bro. That's just that little sneaky shit, man. Jay Crowder gets Bruce Bowen vibes, dude, because Bowen didn't look like a dirty player, but he was always voted the dirtiest player in the fucking league, man.
Yeah, Bowen is an NBA champion, so it kind of gets like glossed over because Bowen made all those clutch shots and he played with Tim Duncan, but Bowen was dirty as fuck, bro. And Jay Crowder been dirty. He's just been dirty. I think he tossed Anthony Davis aside when LeBron hit that dagger in, what game was that? Game 2. So my thoughts are, I do not want to see the Phoenix Suns in the finals.
I don't want to see them.
They do absolutely not. They do not deserve it. I think they're going to beat Denver, if I'm going to be honest, but hopefully they don't go to the finals.
Man, if they had Murray though, that'd be a way more competitive series. I think you're right. I think,
Way more competitive.
and if the Clippers are gonna lose, are we gonna get fucking Mavs? Who's on the other side of the bracket? We got Mavs and
Mavs in Utah.
oh, are we about to see a Utah finals, bro? A Utah Bucks finals?
Adam Silver. Adam Silver deserves that shit. A Utah Jazz
Adam
Milwaukee
Silver.
Bucks finals.
Yeah,
Adam Silver. That's what he deserves. He deserves.
I think
4,000.
you're right. I think you're right.
Silver deserves 4,000 people watching the NBA finals. Like, imagine the viewers for a Lakers Nets. Okay. Now imagine the viewers for the Jazz and the Bucks. Oh my goodness.
Something weird this playoff run too, bro. And I mean, maybe it's nitpicky, but why did the Mavs and Clippers get 2 days between their games, and we're getting 1 day between like all these motherfuckers?
Bro,
How we went
thank
the
you.
Pistons?
I am so
Can
ready
you give us
to
like some fucking leeway? Our guys are hurt. You're giving Kawhi 2 days between games, and they're down 3-2. You fucking assholes! What's wrong with you guys?
I'm so glad you brought it up, bro. The Clippers had, I think, 2 games in between where they had 2 days off. The Lakers had 1 game. And it's kind of like, I think you texted me about it too. Like, yo, when you're the champion, you just get like leeway. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it works in professional sports. You get a little bit of leeway. Like the Lakers had no leeway, man. We had to go back. We had to get 1 day off and just go to Staples Center. And I didn't understand that at all.
It was one of my grievances. I hope Festivus is coming around because I have some grievances that I'm trying to file. Fucking NBA
Right.
Festivus. That'd be an event, bro. Maybe we should start that up. That would get ugly though. That shit would get hot.
Yeah, they don't want to see me in that because I'd be too turned up.
Oh shit, Martin's here. We gotta fucking go. Cancel the festival.
Yeah, seriously, bro. I didn't understand how the Lakers had 1 day off. Like, we're the world champs. What are you talking about? We get a day off. You're supposed to give the champions leeway, but it is what it is, man. I don't.
It is what it is. There were a lot of little things like that I remember encountering this year. Like, wait, you could have like done this, but you decided, whatever. Okay, let's just win.
Right.
Well, let's just win turned into a first round exit, man. And I'm not that upset about being a first round exit because shit, if we were healthy, if we got last year's Bond AD, I think we take care of them in 5 or 6, dude.
Right.
I think even with our shooting as bad as it was, with Braun and AD there, we just own the fucking paint, man. Especially when they're healthy. I mean, what was so strong about us last year, because we weren't a good shooting team last year either, but just Braun and AD's ability to hold down the paint. And then if we got a healthier AD, that would have led to better defense and transition opportunities. So AD getting healthy is like being not healthy is like a domino effect on our team, man. If he's not healthy, that affects both ends. The lack of defense will affect our offense too. Lack of transition opportunities. Yeah, that was my big takeaway about this series, man. I still think we would have won in 5, so I'm not that mad at the guys. I was just upset after Game 5. I just wanted to see some fight in Game 6 today, and we got it. But the Suns had an ungodly shooting first half, man. I mean, it was absurd. I mean, Booker had 22 in the quarter.
Yeah,
but Crowder
couldn't miss, man.
Crowder hit his first like 4 or 3 threes. Of course, Cam Johnson hit some threes. Oh, we should also say, fuck Cameron Payne. He didn't exactly do dirty plays that I recall. I don't like that guy either, man.
Yeah.
So many plays where like they'd be taking the ball out after scoring, and then the Lakers would have it. Caruso would be the one bringing it up the floor. He would turn around, and then Cameron Payne would stand right there and try and get the flop. He would throw himself back. Thankfully, the refs didn't fall for that. I don't think they fell for that. But between that, and I mean, the guy just hit shots. We got to tip our hat to that shit. He just hit threes, and we couldn't stay in front of him this series, man. Our guy Caruso, as much as I love him, Cameron Payne was just getting by. And Payne has speed, and he just fucking burned us many times, man.
Yeah, Payne killed us the whole series. Like, I thought he might have one like great game.
I thought so too. I thought he was only going to have like one.
I was like, you know what? Cameron Payne is good for one Cameron Payne game. But dude, he killed us, man. Cameron Payne killed us, and like what you said, the Suns in the first half were just like NBA Jam fire.
NBA Jam like a
Jay,
fucking outlier, like absurdly hot.
bro, Jay Crowder made his first four threes. Four threes, he was wet, and Devin Booker didn't stop all night. He could not miss. Some shots I thought we were really bad defensively on him, but then
We
some
were, and
shots I was
that's
like,
what led
damn,
to getting those shots, man. He was wide open.
right. And like you said, some shots led to him being wide open, and some shots I was like, damn, like he made that. That's tough. That's a tough shot.
But I knew
Yeah,
they
I
would pull
wasn't.
down in the second, man.
Yeah, I wasn't really pleased with how we came out in the first half. Just energy, and there was a lot of cryptic subtweeting going on with the Lakers. Of course, it's not the Lakers without some subtweets going on.
All that for Dennis to end up starting.
Yeah, just for Dennis to play. By the way, maybe we could talk about it a little later. Good riddance to Dennis. Dennis. He could go, bro. I'll take him to LAX tomorrow. Pack your fucking bags. Tell your family to pack their bags too. I will drive you to the airport, bro. I'm over Dennis.
After this,
Anyway,
I give him a 40% chance to come back. You know, I mean, he needed to have a really strong playoff appearance for us to be like, yes, we'll pay you that money. And the Lakers would have paid him if he made it look like he was worth it.
right.
But Dennis did some good for us though too, man. He steadied the ship when LeBron was out. He was
Right.
good. He was a good perimeter defender. He was a good point of attack defender. And I didn't like how his shot. He kind of took a long time to get his shot up. You know, it was a slow wind up and everything. But he was also really good at attacking the rim. So you got to weigh the good with the bad with Dennis, and then we also got to look at who else is going to be out there.
Right.
I still have this game, this moment on my mind, but I wonder what we're going to do with Dennis, man. There's sign and trade options, but he could also just walk. We'll see what the team ends up doing.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask though, who do you want to see come back? Because after a first round exit, regardless of injuries, that's going to make us take a hard look at the team. I think guys who were on the block last year are most certainly on the fucking block.
Yeah, I think your last episode, was it with Alex that you were
Alex, yeah.
Alex, who was, you guys, I liked how you guys talked about like our salary cap moving forward and our position, like what the hard cap is for us and what our options are moving forward. Honestly, bro, I want LeBron back. Like that's an
LeBron and AD,
option.
we can do that without mentioning them. Yeah.
Right. So let's just get LeBron and AD out the way. That's not even like they have to come back. After that, bro, for me, it's like Alex Caruso. Everybody else, like that's it, bro. For me, it's
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's kind of where I'm at too. I've built an attachment with KCP because of how great he was last year with us. But if the right deal comes along, I feel like it's going to be KCP makes, like Alex was saying, he makes like 13 a year. So KCP,
he makes 13, right?
He'll probably be in there, 3-and-D guy. They're gonna want THT, and I'd love to hang on to him. But if we're gonna pull the trigger on a third star, like a reliable one, then
right.
You gotta feel like it's gonna be KCP, Kuzma, THT. And maybe our pick. If we can hold on to that pick, great. But I bet teams are gonna be asking about that pick. So that seems like the trade package. KCP, Kuzma, THT in the pick, man. But in terms of guys we want back, Alex Caruso, bro. I think that's the only one we like fucking have to leave.
Bro, for me,
everyone else is on a short deal too.
Bro, it's LeBron and AD. We don't need to talk about those guys. Like they're coming back. We have to have them back. And then after that, it's Caruso for me. I want Caruso back. But Kuzma, if a right deal comes up,
what do you think we'll pay him? What do you think we'll offer him?
For Caruso?
Yeah. It's gotta be 10 at least.
I'm gonna say 8 to 12 million. So I think he's gonna ask for 10, and if he does, like pay him. I think he's worth that. He helped us win a championship. I'd say 10 is fair. But honestly, after that, uh, if a good deal comes up for Kuzma, then you know I love you, Kuz, but peace, bro. You got to go. Same with KCP. I really liked what KCP did in the bubble. He was great against Miami, but if the right deal comes up, I mean, any
Rob's
of those
gonna pull
guys
the
could
trigger,
go.
bro. Rob will
Yeah,
pull the trigger.
exactly. So he pulled the trigger for Dennis Schroeder. He traded Danny Green and our pick to get Dennis. Like, if the right deal comes up, man, like anybody but Caruso, LeBron, and AD, that's it for me.
That's a good name for our free agency policy. Anybody but Caruso, man. Like just
Anybody but Alex, bro. That anybody but
don't get rid of
Caruso.
Alex. You can do whatever else you want, Rob, but don't. I think Rob knows though. Don't get rid of Alex, man, and try
Yeah,
not to.
and he knows. Like, if it takes $10 million, I think Rob's gonna be like, all right, $10 million in. Like
Yeah,
he wants Caruso back.
don't get rid of Alex and try to hold on to THT. I think
Right.
is the way.
Let's hold on to THC for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Kuz, if that is the end, that was a successful partnership. We drafted you.
It
Um,
was.
you got a decent amount of money in that contract. I think it kicks in next year, or did it kick in this year? I don't know
Kicks
exactly.
in next year. Yeah.
We got a ring. He's got some playoff credibility under his belt from the bubble run, I think. But what I've been thinking about Kuzma for a while is he's not going to reach his ceiling as a player here just because he's playing the same position that LeBron does. Really, I mean, I was looking at rookie Kuz highlights because I couldn't sleep the other night, and I was just like, look, I was like, look at this
Bro,
man. Like, he used to be so
rookie
aggressive, dude.
rookie year Kuz was special, man. Especially that summer league Kuz. Summer league Kuz had me like, whoa, who do we get at the 27th
Summer
pick?
League
Like,
Kuz was
who's
a
this?
special wave, dude. Yeah,
So summer league Kuz was fun as hell.
I
But
know.
to your
Where'd
point,
that guy go? I don't
um,
know.
where did he go? To your point, bro, it doesn't matter. It was a successful partnership because
Yeah,
we won a chip. He got paid. He got what, $40 million. We won a championship. He got playoff experience.
that's a lot of
If
donations to Flint, bro. That's all I gotta say, man.
Flint, Michigan, shout out to Flint, man. We're still thinking about you, Flint. That's fucked up what this government and what this country is doing to y'all, man. I can't believe this.
I'm all sad now. I shouldn't have brought up Flint. I'm like,
Bro,
why have we
you brought up Flint,
you?
so
I know, my bad.
I gotta talk about Flint because this shit is crazy, bro. But at the end of the day, it was a successful partnership. If Kuzma doesn't play another game for the Lakers, now would I like to see him back? Like I wouldn't mind Kuzma coming back, but if the right deal comes up, man, like he's got to go. But I wouldn't mind Kuzma coming back.
If the right deal comes
and
around, get the fuck out. Please leave.
you got to go, bro. But at
You
the
couldn't
same
hit the three
time,
when we needed. But appreciate the salute.
exactly, dude. It was a good partnership, and Kuzma's 3-point field goal percentage in this run against Speed, like, dude, he was like what, 17%. Like he didn't make
No joke.
enough shots, man. He was bad.
Yeah. And remember earlier in the year, he made strides as a rebounder, as a defender. And that was
He was rebounding great. Yeah.
You're like, look at Kuz, look at him, our guy that we drafted and that we got the contract.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he still played like decent defense. And once Andre Drummond came around, he kind of stopped rebounding as hard because, I mean, Drummond was getting the boards. And I mean, those minutes that Drummond wasn't in there, I don't know, it still kind of seemed like he wasn't rebounding at that crazy rate that he was. But
yeah.
I still think he's a good player. And because he
is a good player. He is.
He started out hot as a youngin, and he's a Laker, and he does all his Instagram shit and modeling. People are bound to hate him, but they shouldn't let that lose sight of like how quality of a player he is, essentially.
Kuzma is a good player. He's a very good NBA player. He's not going to ever be an all-star. He's not going to be this star player, but
I feel like he can if he lands in the right situation where he gets a lot of shots up. I think he's got to go to some
team. Hey, Kuzma going to have to play 39 minutes if he ever wants to sniff.
If he goes to the right Eastern Conference team and he gets a lot of shots up, then I think
where they say
I think he could.
I don't think that's in his cards. I don't think he's an all-star. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. I just don't think that's his even ceiling. But I do think he's a good NBA player, and he was playing really well this year. And I'm talking about him like he's like dead, right? Like he's only 26 years old, or maybe even 25, and he might be on the team next year. I'm just saying, if the right deal comes up, and I would understand dealing Kuz
If
because
we got if we
he was
got Beal somehow and he made his way to the Wizards, and I mean, I think of Julius Randle how he wasn't an all-star before, but he hopped on a team where it's like, okay, somebody's got to be the star, and Julius was kind of
yeah,
the most tenured and most talented guy who had the best chance to get up shots like that. I think if Kuz lands in a situation like that, because he's a guy that needs a lot of shots to get in rhythm, essentially. You know, when LeBron's out, when AD's out, is when he really gets those games with a lot of shot attempts. He's like
yeah,
in that sense. They both need a lot of shot attempts to maintain the rhythm. If he finds the right team, I wouldn't put it past Kuz to honestly get an all-star team. And I'd put him in the East because the West is just too stacked.
right. The West is stacked, but again, I'm not trying to like talk about Kuz like he's dead. Um, he's he's like he's 25 years old and he's got a lot ahead of him. And if he comes back next year, then okay. I'm just saying if he doesn't, it's because something better came along. You know what I'm saying?
Most certainly, yeah. And I mean, I wonder what's going to happen with Marc Gasol too. Maybe he'll retire because
Maybe.
he looked kind of. I mean, he definitely looked old the moment that he got here. I was like, oh shit, we got Marc Gasol when we got him in the offseason. And then he was just doing a really bad job at protecting the paint. And then thus started all the talk of like, oh, we need someone big and strong to rebound and shit. Um, should we start reflecting on Andre Drummond, man? Do we think we're going to keep him? Should we keep him?
Uh, should we keep him? I don't know, man. I think there might be some better options. Like I think Andre did do some good things.
He wasn't as good as I thought he
Because
was.
yeah, he wasn't as good as I thought he was going to be when we signed him. The good thing is that, because of the buyout with Cleveland, like we signed him for the rest of the year for not a lot of money. Should we re-sign him to like a 2-year, 3-year deal? I'd like to see other options first, just to see if there's someone else out there better. But I think he did do some good things. If he's not back next year, I'm not going to lose any sleep. Like
I wonder.
there's some good. I'm not going to lose any sleep. There's some good centers out there. I think in free agency, maybe we draft a center with our first round pick. Um, we have some opportunities, man.
I haven't even thought about that. Who would we take with the pick?
Right, with the pick, we could
I haven't even
take.
done any research, but hey, maybe that's something we look into with a big man or a
Yeah,
shooter.
yeah.
Big man or a shooter, I'd say.
A shooter, I definitely like a ball handler scoring shooter. That would be really good.
It's time to go on YouTube and Google like who was the best shooter in college. And then
Yeah,
just
we
it's time
need
to
an
look at that.
upperclassman, like a junior, senior, ready to contribute right away that could score the basketball, man, and
Ideally,
shoot the basketball. Right,
that sounds nice. About a more seasoned guy, been in some big games. Ideally, that
right,
not afraid to shoot is like has the same Ben McLemore not afraid to shoot aspect of him.
right.
Because shit, when the season was on the line, man, guys are afraid to shoot. Guys like Caruso, our boy, Dennis, KCP.
Yeah,
Um, Ben was never afraid to shoot when he was here. So I guess the Ben McLemore era is over too, man. I mean, he was a minimum guy. Like Drummond, I think
probably.
the risk was kind of worth it. We should acknowledge that Drummond did his job in terms of rebounding. I just wanted him to be better in terms of, you know, defending the paint and finishing, bro. Like finish these dunks that you're getting, man.
Yeah, finish, bro. Catch the ball with 2 hands and fucking throw it down, man.
Stop turning it over, please. Like LeBron just he threw a little bounce pass to you and you bobbled it and it was a turnover. God damn, we needed that dunk right there. Yeah.
Seriously.
It was the same story over and over with him. And the common remark on Andre was he does good things, but when he makes those mistakes are loud. And
They're loud as hell, bro. Loud. Oh my goodness.
yeah, no.
Drummond is a great, he's a very good to great rebounder. Other than that, bro, I don't know. He has no footwork. His hands are pretty bad. Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to finish at the rim. He's a great rebounder. So
Yeah.
if the Lakers bring him back for the right price, okay. But I'm not going to lose sleep if they go for someone else.
If the Lakers treated him more like JaVale and gave Mark just a little more run, I think we would have won a few more.
Yeah.
Honestly, who knows where that would have put us in terms of seeding. I wonder if we play the Nuggets. I mean, if we do play the Nuggets, who knows if AD even gets hurt, because that's a different series. Maybe he doesn't pull his groin or whatever. But that is the infinite possibilities of alternate realities and shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, Drummond was all right. Wish he was better. It does make me wonder how a guy like Damian Jones would have fit in. People like to kill Anthony Irwin. He's a pretty polarizing guy on Lakers Twitter, Lakers Reddit, and stuff like that. But he was always in the corner of like, I think we should keep Damian Jones. For what the price of Drummond was as a minimum guy, like I still look back on it, like that was the right business move, because he has a higher ceiling. But if Damian Jones is on the team, I don't think Mark would have lost his starting job. I think the offense would have just flown better, Offense was a big ass problem for us this year, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say but I didn't hate Damian Jones, man, on that 10-day contract.
Did what we needed him to do.
All Damian was asked to do was set screens, catch lobs, rim run,
defend the
and
paint,
and block and defend the paint, right? And he did that pretty well. I understand but you made a good point about like the cost for Andre Drummond, but Damian Jones wasn't bad at all for the Lakers.
I know, yeah. I wish that guy best of luck though, Damian Jones. Hey, maybe we can get him off the minimum or something.
Good luck to him for sure. Yeah.
We'll see about that. But with our run over now, man, what's going to be your playoff watching plan? Are you going to root for a team, or what are you going to be doing? Are you just done with NBA basketball right now?
I don't want anybody to win. If my Lakers don't win, if the Lakers don't win, it's irrelevant. No, but on a serious note, it's like it is going to be some good matchups, man. We talked about it right before we hopped on. The Eastern Conference, the Bucks and the Sixers. The Bucks and the Nets. That's going to be
an all-timer, I think.
That's going to be. You know what? I'm just going to say it. The winner of that series is going to win the East. Not that I'm really going out on a limb.
Well, because who else they got? The Sixers, but Embiid just tore
the Sixers. Right. So no discredit to the Sixers, but I'm just going to say it. The Bucks Nets winner is going to win the East. Actually, you know what? I'll take it a step further. The Bucks Nets winner is going to win the NBA championship. How about that? Now we're going a little bit further. I'm going to say whoever wins Bucks Nets, that's your NBA champion.
Sounds about right, honestly. I nod my head at that, man.
That's going to be your NBA champion. So hold me to that. We got some good matchups. We got Denver going against Phoenix. I think I'll be pulling for Denver because, like what we talked about, I don't want Phoenix to go there. It's going to be some good.
One question: if the Clippers pull this out against Dallas, do you think them?
Okay.
If they pull that out, do you think them getting out of that bad matchup means they could make a run and win the West? Because they still have
for
that
sure.
talent.
Yeah, if the Clippers could beat Dallas, if they could beat them, I think they could make it out the West. But I mean, the Clippers are going to have a hard time with Utah too. Utah is going to give the Clippers some problems. Not problems like Luka Doncic. I mean, oh my God, that guy is.
Well, Donovan Mitchell's a fucking baller though, but he's smaller, man. Luka's one of a kind, kind of.
Yeah, Luka is. He's just next level right now. Yeah, if the Lakers don't win, bro, then I'm like, man, fuck everybody. That's my mindset. When the Lakers lose, I'm like, all right, well, somebody has to win.
There's no if. We didn't win. That much I can tell you, bro.
When the when the Lakers lose, I'm like, all right, well, this kind of is trash. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say whoever wins the Bucks Nets series is going to win the championship.
We've already got the Celtics out in the first round. The Heat,
Good, right?
the Heat
Boston's
got
out.
Boston's done. And if the Clippers lose too, that makes us losing in the first round a lot fucking easier, to be honest.
Right. If the Clippers lose, then I could take like a, I could, I could, I could breathe because I don't care if Denver wins. I don't care if Utah wins. Whatever. Imagine waking
Adam
up and
Silver
living
cares,
in
but
Denver.
we don't.
Yeah, imagine waking up and living in Denver. I wake up and live in fucking LA. Okay. So
Not gonna lie,
Adam Silver,
Denver is kind of cool. My sister lives there, but imagine
is it
living in
good?
Utah. No, fuck Utah. Denver's all right. You should go to Denver at one time.
See, the thing is, I've been to Utah. I've never been to Denver. That's the thing.
Denver's
So I got to check out.
Utah is where we
Okay.
slander openly.
All right. So I got to check out Denver. I gotta make a trip out there. But no,
Yeah.
it's going to be really good. Shout out to the Hawks too. Don't want to forget about the Hawks.
We should shout them out because you've been on that Hawks train for a bit. I was surprised.
Bro, I'm on this Hawks
honestly.
bandwagon. I say the Hawks win the East next year. Not to go too far ahead, but that's next year. I think the Hawks are going to win the East. Maybe that's just me being a little bullish and a little
you need to throw like $100 on that, because if you feel that strong, bro, throw a little.
I do.
You're gonna get some good
I
odds.
will.
Like 100.
I will go to Vegas and do that. But you know, closing, like, look, it's going to be some good playoffs matchups. And look, bro, we won the championship. I don't care what anybody says. A bubble and a Mickey Mouse, all these fucking clowns like Charles Barkley.
I don't care.
We won the championship. I don't care. We won the championship. We have 17 banners. We hung that banner at Staples Center. We won. So to whoever wins this year, I salute you. I tip my cap. But the Lakers won last year, and we will be back.
I know. Thankfully, everything broke right for us in terms of health standpoint. I mean, I just really wanted that. I just needed one championship to show for LeBron's tenure here and AD's trade here. And we got that in our first fucking year.
We got it, right.
We have a great we have a proper length of an off season to rest. We have a good GM, and we got tradable pieces. I feel pretty good about our chances next year. I've been resigned since Game 5, man. I was alluding to it earlier. I was just like, oh, if we're going to be this bad and not fight in a game like Game 5,
yeah,
even if we win this series with the Suns miraculously, AD's groin is still fucked up, and then he has whatever else he's dealing with. LeBron, even we saw it in this game. There were moments where he, get into the paint a little bit, and there'd be little lanes for him to drive and shit, and he couldn't explode like he normally does. And so I'm like, okay, LeBron still is not totally 100%. Yeah, my whole thought process has been it ain't our year, man. I mean, before you and me got on for the pod, I was looking for like my Lakers championship gear to get on. I was like, wait a second, didn't I just buy this? And now our playoff.
Bro, I just bought it.
I'm looking at my gear. I'm like, Champions 2020. Like, I swear I just bought this, and now the regular season passed and our run is over. It didn't feel right, man. This whole year has not felt right. LeBron is happy as hell. He's gonna get a full fucking offseason, man. That much I know.
It definitely didn't feel right, man. I still have receipts on my credit cards for championship gear I bought, man. I feel like I bought that like last month, bro.
I know. Just because every day has felt the same because of COVID. I mean, it feels like
because of COVID, every day is Wednesday,
Yeah. Every day is fucking
because of
cash,
every day. And I feel like I still have receipts for championship gear, and that championship was legitimate. And like what you said, I'm glad you brought it up. The LeBron signing and the AD trade, it was a success.
That one championship alone is hard enough to come by.
One
championship, the max.
Yeah. It validates the LeBron signing and the Anthony Davis trade. We won the trade and we won the signing because of that one championship. Of course, I want to win one more, right? I hope we got to get one more, right? But just so people understand, it was validated with the championship last year.
Yep. because of that, I feel pretty
because
good.
of that.
I feel good about where we're at, and I'm just excited at how much rest we're gonna fucking get, man. We're an old team. We're an old, if not fragile, team. I mean, LeBron is
Yeah,
old. AD is injury prone. So the proper
he
offseason
is right.
what we fucking needed. Yeah, I already touched on it earlier. I need to repeat it. With AD's groin, we weren't going to make a deep playoff run anyway. In terms of my team that I'm rooting for, I'll be rooting for the Bucks. I'd say I like Giannis, and I guess
Go Bucks.
I'll be rooting for the Nuggets temporarily to beat the Suns because fuck those dudes. We would have beat them in 5 or 6 if we had the guys healthy. Um, our shooting really did us in this series, but AD's effect on a game, a healthy AD and a healthy LeBron, their dominance in the paint makes the lives of the shooters easier, I'd say.
Yeah,
The Suns were making it easy. They weren't really defending our shooters, but our dominance in the paint offensively and what I was saying earlier, defensively, our ability to generate turnovers and shit, that's a lot of our offense, man. Paint buckets and generating turnovers and shit. So it's a big ass domino effect when AD isn't healthy, when AD and LeBron isn't healthy. That was always the downside of having AD and LeBron on the team. If one of them ain't healthy, then the team just goes way down in terms of what they want to do in their game plan. And we saw the bad side of it this year, and we saw the good side of it last year. So we're gonna get year 3 of that shit next year, and I ain't too mad about it. We got a full off season. I'm feeling pretty good, man.
Yeah, I feel good. We have a full off season. Like you said, that was a perfect point. We had the good side last year because they were both healthy in the bubble. And we saw what they did. They went God mode, right? They just went like LeBron against the Heat and against the Nuggets and the Rockets or whatever. And same with AD. AD went to a different place in the bubble. So we got it last year, and this year we saw when one of them goes down, it's going to be rough. Really disappointing in our shooting this series, and the way we were just so timid in Game 5. Man, Game 5 to me was the series.
That's gonna stick with me next year when our backs were against the wall. We got steamrolled and we were afraid to shoot. That's gonna stick with me for a bit.
Afraid. It's one thing when you play your ass off and the other team beats you. It's like, you know what? I gotta tip my hat. Like they're better than me. But Game 5, we played scared. We were scared to shoot, and I knew we were going to lose. And at halftime, the lead was what, 24, 25. I don't know. I knew it was over, but because we were scared, we were timid to shoot the ball. That's what did us in, man. Guys not only didn't make shots, but they were kind of afraid to take shots.
Yeah, when it was still game, they were afraid, man. But regardless, I mean, I was able to start this pod this year with my buddy BK, and you were able to come on. We were able to get something going. We'll be doing off-season stuff. I'm excited to off-season's when the real season starts, because that's when all the excitement's around shit. Trades, big free agency.
Trades and the draft, bro.
And the draft, yeah. I'm not really much into the draft, but with that first round pick, yeah, I think we'll be a little more into it. See if we can find a good shooter,
Right.
Yeah, but it's been great podding with you this season, man. Glad we've been able to do it. You got any final thoughts on the season or anything you want to say?
Yeah. As always, thanks for having me, bro. And just for a message to Lakers Nation and everybody, just remember we won the championship in October. Okay.
Thank you, bro.
October.
I've been telling people that we're like, 80s soft, 80s a bitch. Bro. It's hard to get a championship. We just fucking got one.
We just won, bro. And you understand, you could be a fan of the fucking New York Knicks, right? Okay. Those sorry ass clowns have one chip in 50 years? Imagine being a New York Knicks fan. Imagine being a Sacramento Kings fan. The Kings have how many championships? The Kings drafted Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic. Holy shit, right? We won a championship in October.
There's a lot of sad situations out there, bro.
Bro, it's some sad, sorry ass. There's some sad, sorry ass teams. We have Anthony Davis and LeBron James on our team, and we just won. We're all right, bro.
We're still all right.
5 years ago,
Yeah.
5 years ago, if we would have done this pod, me and you, I would have been like depressed, bro. I would have been so down. I would say but bro, we won the championship in October. We have 2 of the 10 best players on the planet, and you could be a Sacramento Kings fan. It's all right, Lakers. We'll be all right.
Amen to that, man. As always, great having you on, and we'll be doing some off-season stuff too, man. Take it easy.
Thanks for having me, bro.
All right, later.